Well, parents, if you have young children, you may be all too familiar with acts like Hannah Montana, the Jonas Brothers. They're a hit with what is called the tweens, kids between the ages of 8 and 12. But while those acts are able to entertain with their brand of bubblegum pop, they fall short of educating kids during a critical time in their lives. And that's why one group is working to pick up the slack. Take a look.
16-year-old Robert Pierre realized that tweens were stuck in an identity crisis. He was already a recording artist, so he put together a new CD called Identity. That's when he heard about Robert Beeson's iShine events. Beeson is a former Sony exec and the father of tween daughters. Beeson asked Robert and others to join him in his latest project. The high-energy shows feature dancers, speakers like cancer survivor Paige Armstrong, and performances by Robert Pierre and the Rubis and Disney actor Luke Benward. And they're spreading the message of true identity to thousands of tweens across the country.
Well, please welcome to the 700 Club Robert Beeson, who is the founder of Advocate Entertainment and iShine Performers, and along with him, Paige Armstrong and Robert Pierre. Great to have you all with us.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful to be here. Thanks.
Listen, tell me about iShine. Where did this come from?
Well, my family faced some personal tragedy. We had some addiction in the family, and as a long story short, my wife left me with my 3 daughters to raise them on my own.
Wow.
And it's been about 2 years really identifying that there's not a lot of resource for these kids at this age group, besides Disney. And so I thought, you know what, we really need to. I've been in the entertainment industry for a while, but I haven't really focused on this age group, and the church isn't doing a whole lot for that.
Why does that happen? You're right, the age group really does fall under the radar, but it's at that age that kids really start forming some of the values and the concepts that they carry on.
It is, and they actually are listening to their parents. They're actually open for input. It's just, I think the church has been so focused on high school ministry and children's ministry that this age group is really kind of relegated to this in-between stage. And so what we decided to do is just pick up the slack and just start a movement to embrace this audience. It's not about an artist. It's not about dancers. It really is about talking to these kids about their value and their identity in Christ.
Wow, it's awesome. Paige, how did you get involved in this, and what's your role?
Well, I'm the speaker for the events, and God has just worked in so many intricate ways that I never could have imagined to kind of bring me to where I am with Robert and
You're
iShine.
actually a cancer survivor.
I am, yes.
So you have a message of being in an out-of-control and seemingly hopeless situation and knowing the reality of God.
Absolutely. I was diagnosed with cancer just before my 11th birthday, and I had been totally healthy and just a normal kid, and so it was an extreme shock to me and my family to all of a sudden have to go through chemo and everything. And through that experience, though, the Lord has just brought so many blessings that I never could have imagined.
So if you could capsulize it for me, what do you tell these kids when you're speaking at these events?
Well, the whole message is about identity in Christ. That's what the I in iShine stands for. And so, there's so many things involved in that. We kind of have a VIP theme where I talk about valued person, and then I talk about identity in Christ, and then their purpose that God has for them. And from everything that I've been through, I have seen how precious our lives are, and that's just something that we're really hoping to share and to get across.
Robert, talk to me about your role in all of this. I know you're performing in it, and God's been using you in that regard for some time. How did you find your identity?
Well, I was on tour with Christ and Youth Believe tour with my first CD, Inside Out. And just being able to meet kids coast to coast, thousands of kids, was just such a great experience for me, and just being able to talk to them. And we actually, on my website, we had a message board where kids could come in and write comments and talk to me. And when I started thinking about my next CD, Identity, I really wanted these kids to realize that they don't need to find acceptance in their friends and peer pressure, but they're already accepted by God because Jesus Christ died on the cross for their sins. And so when I just being able to get this identity crisis topic out there to kids and to help encourage them was so important to me. And then hearing about iShine just doing the exact same thing, it was just a perfect fit.
It really is. I think one of the things that's so great about this is you're really stimulating kids' thought process, so to think for themselves rather than to let someone else give them their identity. We keep talking about these events. I'm sure all of you at home are saying, what events? This is happening across the country, though, right?
It is. We have 4 more events this year, and we're planning to do 70 events next year across the country. So we're enthusiastic about it. We're also finding that we have this need for the church to really come alongside and help us get the word out, because this is for the church. This is not just entertaining our kids. This is about going deeper and understanding their identity in Christ, and they can make a difference even at this age group, and they're loved and have a purpose right where they're at.
Well, Robert, we want to hear you sing. So tell us about the song you're going to sing today.
The song I'm singing is called Breaking My Heart, and what that just talks about is that after salvation, God's changing you, your likes and dislikes, and He's totally just changing your thought process. And He's literally breaking your heart, but in a good way. So it's kind of a play on words.
Well, I'm going to let you move over there and get ready to sing. And while you're doing that, I want to tell you at home that you can get more information on iShine, the tour events we've been talking about. Just log on to our website at cbn.com. I think your young tweens would be really touched by this. And while you're there, check out Robert Pierre's latest CD. It's called Identity. This is his second. We're going to leave you today, in fact, with Robert singing Breaking My Heart. And I want to thank Paige for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Just give you great kudos for what you're doing, and you, Robert, for your great idea with all of this.
Well, thank you.
Families have been waiting.
We're excited.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here is Robert singing Breaking My Heart.